every once in a while I'll get a call from Blue and she'll say, Grandma, that's really whack what you just did. That's really whack. You should delete that.
Does Tina Knowles know more than she lets on? Recently, she liked to post on Instagram about the allegation that Jayz had been part of Diddy's alleged crimes. But what does that mean? Was Tina trying to send a message? And is Jayz really guilty?
I'm having a great night.
The post on Instagram that Tina liked was from ABC7, a local news station in Chicago, that was talking about the allegation that Jayz had harmed a minor in an intimate way back in 2000.
There was an actual post by ABC7 Chicago News saying Jayz Carter, and Sean Diddy Combs are accused of a 13-year-old girl at an after party following the 2000 Music Video Awards, according to an amended civil lawsuit filed Sunday. You see right there, front and center, Tina Knowles.
People were already commenting on the post, saying that they either believed Jayz was guilty or that he was innocent. Some people, however, noticed that someone shocking had also liked it.
Beyonce is losing hundreds of thousands, millions of followers every day, and she still hasn't said anything, just pretending like life is great in Paris.
Is it her place to say so?
I mean, probably not, considering she's gonna be indicted for anything she would say. These are criminals. Diddy is a dealer, and so is Jayz. The proof is there.
It was Tina Knowles herself, the mother of Beyonce and mother-in-law to Jayz. Now, what does a like typically mean? Well, in most cases, when someone likes a post on social media, it means that they agree with what the post is saying. Was this Tina's way of saying that she knew Jayz was up to no good? Was she trying to protect her daughter by putting some distance between her family and Jayz? Fans quickly started going crazy in the comments. They were really eating this up, and the conspiracy theorist hats came out too.
Jayz's about to be indicted with Diddy. When Diddy get his superseding indictment, remember, this is a RICO.
Choke out the gate. If you Jayz, how you feeling right now?
Thinking about his arrogance and his cockiness and his way of ducking and dodging news or scandals. I'm probably thinking, how am I going to get out of this one?
A lot of fans speculated that her liking the page was a mistake. They pointed out the fact that she's a 70-year-old woman, so navigating the platform might be hard for her. She might have been even just scrolling and accidentally hit the like button without realizing it. It's a pretty fair theory. We all likely know some older folk who struggle with using social media. There were some who pointed out a few holes in this theory, though, and it does make the whole thing look a little more suspicious. They claim that most of Tina's business is on Instagram. She runs a lot of affiliates through her page, and she's basically always posting. So she probably knows how to use Instagram since she's on it so much. The fans who pointed this out thought that the like was deliberate. Now, I can definitely see this if she's really the one using the account. However, it's also worth remembering that a lot of celebrities have people running their accounts for them. They might take photos or suggest captions, but it's other people who are replying to comments or are basically in charge of the account. So maybe one of Tina's account representatives liked the page. Or, because she doesn't actually use Instagram a lot since she has people do it for her, she decided to see what was going on with her son-in-law and accidentally liked it. Outside of that debate, fans also wondered what it would mean if the like was authentic. What was Tina trying to say? Some fans thought that this was Tina trying to say that Jayz was guilty.
Tonight, Jay-Z's attorney, Alex Spiro, is pushing to get a judge to dismiss the lawsuit against his client, citing an NBC News exclusive that found inconsistencies with the accuser's account.
We expect Mr. Carter to be fully cleared of all of this in the coming days. Almost nothing that she says has checked out because this never happened.
This in the wake of our interview with a 38-year-old mother from Alabama who accuses Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, and Sean Diddy Combs her when she was 13 years old. She asked us not to reveal her identity.
What made you want to come forward? Because I think that I've been quiet long enough.
They said that she was a woman of class and principles, so since this sort of terrible allegation was against her son-in-law, she wanted to show that she supported the victim.
On Friday, she said that she stands by her statements. I have made some mistakes, she said. Honestly, what is the clearest is what happened to me. The inconsistencies in her account of an incident alleged to have happened 24 years ago does not necessarily mean the allegations are false. The accuser's attorney, Tony Busby, said, because we have interrogated her intensely, she has even agreed to submit to a polygraph. This has been extremely distressing for her, to the point she has experienced seizures and had to seek medical treatment due to the stress. In a statement to NBC News, Sean Carter said, this incident didn't happen, and yet he filed it in court and doubled down in the press. True justice is coming. We fight from victory, not for victory.
Is any part of you scared?
coming out against such powerful people?
Yeah, I'm scared of what could happen, but I'm more afraid of letting it eat me alive from the inside out than I am of being chastised by their fans.
All right, Chloe Malas joining us now live. Chloe, we just heard a very strongly worded statement from Jay-Z. What else are you hearing from him and his team?
Yes, so his attorney said that they're going to ask the court to, quote, dismiss this frivolous case. And also moments ago, we heard from Diddy's legal team, and I want to read you some of what they said. They said, quote, this is the beginning of the end of this shameful money grab. And remember, he remains behind bars at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, and his criminal trial begins in May.
Others were a little more harsh and said that Tina had basically sold Beyonce off to Jay-Z when she was still a teenager, so this was clearly an accident. One fan even predicted that Tina would come out and say that her account was hacked. Well, that fan basically hit it right on the head. A few hours later, Tina posted on her Instagram that her account had been hacked. How convenient is that? In her post, Tina said that she was hacked and that everyone knew that she did not play around when it came to her family.
A lot of times people say things because they don't want to get themselves in a PR disaster. You can't be, write a check.
Hours after being publicly accused of a 13-year-old girl with Diddy, Jay-Z calls the allegation heinous. The civil lawsuit blackmail and vows he won't give, quote, one red penny. According to the complaint, first filed in October, then refiled to name Jay-Z, the Jane Doe accuser claims the alleged double occurred during a 2000 VMA after party, hours after E.T. spoke to Diddy and then girlfriend J-Lo on the red carpet.
We're very excited. There's a good energy in the air.
It's a big old party, though.
The woman claims during the party she drank something that made her feel disoriented. She then went to rest in a bedroom when Diddy and Jay-Z allegedly took turns her.
You're gonna hear about my party, and they're gonna probably be arresting me. People from all walks of life. Jay-Z talking to, you know what I'm saying? It just goes on and on.
Diddy, who's currently locked up awaiting federal trial, also vehemently denies the allegations. Jay says the only heartbreak he has is for wife Beyonce and their 3 kids. Quote, my wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims.
But mom Tina Knowles apparently liked an article reporting on the alleged. The lawsuit was filed by Texas attorney Tony Busby, who is representing 120 Diddy accusers.
Will there be celebrity names?
I expect so, yes. I think people already are suspecting some of the names.
I think overall, Busby needs to be careful. When you start naming celebrities, we're going to out you, put you right next to Diddy unless you pay us this money. It's going to be very hard to win this case because it happened over 20 years ago. So it's really going to be a he said, she said.
In Jay's scathing statement, he calls Busby a deplorable human and fraud. Busby, meanwhile, accuses Jay of bullying, harassment, and claims Jay is suing him under an anonymous pseudonym, saying, quote, we will litigate the facts in court, not in the media.
How much bigger can this get?
It'll get a lot bigger, I think. We're at the tip of the iceberg at this moment.
She added that if anyone saw her do something uncharacteristic, then it wasn't her. She also included a passage from the Bible, saying, no weapon formed against my family shall prosper. Fans in the comments were not buying it. They told her that it was okay to just come forward and say that she accidentally liked the post. After all, it seems really unlikely that a hacker would get into her account just to like a page. There are way easier methods to troll a person if that was their goal. Fans also pointed out that this is an excuse that Tina tends to use a lot. So either she needs to beef up her password, or she needs to start being more honest with her fans. They're not falling for it anymore. So what exactly was it that Tina seemed to be exposing Jay-Z for?
Sits in the Metropolitan Detention Center out in Brooklyn, New York after being denied bail a 3rd time as he awaits trial next year on trafficking, racketeering, and charges. The man accused of engaging in a scheme going on for years where he allegedly abused, threatened, and coerced women to fulfill his desires and operated a criminal enterprise engaged in all sorts of illicit activity. Prosecutors say that includes trafficking, kidnapping, arson, forced labor, obstruction. Now, our first update is massive. This is huge because you remember when there was all this talk about who else could be implicated in these allegations? Who else will be named when it comes to Sean Combs' alleged misdeeds? Well, it turns out one big name has just come to the surface. Jay-Z, Sean Carter, that's right, the rapper and entrepreneur, has just been identified as that unnamed celebrity in a lawsuit that we covered right here on Sidebar a few weeks ago. Actually, he has just been named as a defendant now in that lawsuit. You might recall there was this lawsuit that was filed against Sean Combs back in October, where an unnamed Jane Doe alleges that back on September 7th, 2000, when she was just 13 years old, she was taken to a Video Music Awards, VMA's after party, which was 20 minutes away from the event in New York. And at this party, she claims that she took a drink, she started feeling woozy, lightheaded. She makes the claim that she may have been and then she tries to find a place to lie down in what she thought was an empty bedroom. She said that is when Sean Combs, along with a male and female celebrity, entered the room. And Combs allegedly grabbed her and said, "You are ready to party." Well, now, celebrity A, who was that unnamed celebrity, has been identified as Sean Carter. This is a part of a newly filed amended complaint. And it reads, Combs then threw plaintiff toward a wall, causing plaintiff to fall. Plaintiff got up and stumbled, at which point Combs grabbed her again and threw her on the bed. At that point, Carter began removing plaintiff's clothes as she grew more and more disoriented.
According to People, the alleged victim claimed that back in 2000, she wanted to go to the MTV Video Music Awards and ended up being intimately harmed by Jayz and Diddy. She snuck out of her house and was dropped off at the event by a friend. Although she couldn't get into the ceremony itself, she said that she found herself in an area full of limos.
Jayz's team is fighting back against allegations that he a 13-year-old at one of P. Diddy's parties. His team has bombarded the courts with motions and possible defenses, now saying the lawsuit should be completely thrown out because this alleged doesn't fit within the statute of limitations. Jayz's team is also picking apart Jane Doe's filing and recent media interviews, saying her stories just don't add up and the case should be dismissed. We're taking a closer look at the allegations against Jayz and what defense his legal team is possibly cooking up with criminal defense attorney Serena Townsend. Let's start with the allegations. They stem from a civil lawsuit filed back in October that listed P. Diddy as a defendant. We're not entirely sure who the plaintiff is, the person filing this lawsuit. She's listed only as Jane Doe, and according to a recent ruling by the case's judge, she can actually remain anonymous as Jane Doe, at least for now. So when Jane Doe filed this lawsuit, she publicly named Sean Combs, who of course is P. Diddy. He was already facing a slew of civil lawsuits at the time, and then there's those federal charges, all surrounding allegations that he was part of a decades-long trafficking ring. Jane Doe laid out the details of her assault in her original filing, which we'll get to in a minute. But first, we have to note, at the time she filed this lawsuit, P. Diddy was name-dropped in the suit, but Jayz was not. In the first filing, Jane Doe specified she was allegedly by another celebrity. She listed them only as Celebrity A. She also listed another person, a woman, as Celebrity B, who apparently watched these assaults. We have some guesses as to who Celebrity B could be, but we can't be 100% sure. We do know, though, who Celebrity A is, and it's apparently Jayz. Jane Doe amended her filing late last year to replace Celebrity A with the name Sean Carter, who you probably know.
It gets even crazier.
So here are her accusations. The assault apparently happened in September of 2000, when Jane Doe was 13 years old and she met Diddy's limo driver outside of the MTV Video Music Awards. The limo driver told her Combs liked younger girls and that she fit what Diddy was looking for, not allowing her into the awards, but inviting her to an after party. This next part is important for a future filing from Jayz. Jane Doe claims Diddy's limo driver picked her up and then drove her to a large white house behind a gated fence. Jane Doe says that when she got inside, she was forced to sign a non-disclosure agreement, but she was never given any copies of that paperwork. After she signed the NDA, she went inside and eventually took a drink. It was a reddish yellow mixture, and she said it tasted like orange juice mixed with cranberry juice and something that was bitter. Jane Doe now believes that Diddy or one of his associates actually slipped something into her drink, because after all this, she started to feel woozy and said she needed to lay down. So she went to a room she thought was empty, but didn't lock the door. And soon after, Combs, along with a male and female celebrity, entered the room. Combs aggressively approached plaintiff, that's Jane Doe, with a crazed look in his eyes, grabbed her and said, "You are ready to party."
One of the drivers called out to her and asked if she wanted to go to a party. She learned that this was Diddy's driver. She agreed, and the driver helped her get into the party. He also told her to come back later. The alleged victim went to the party and at the appointed time, left and returned to the driver. She said that he led her into the limo, which had an all-black interior. Then, he took her somewhere. She remembered a gate, and the next thing she knew, she was taken to a room with a bed in it. Diddy came in with Jay-Z and an unnamed female celebrity. Here's where things get really icky. The victim said that Diddy harmed her in an intimate way first, while Jay-Z and the unnamed female celebrity watched. When he was done, Jay-Z took his turn while Diddy and the unnamed female celebrity watched.
Tonight, Jay-Z fighting back against accusation. His attorney filing a letter to the judge to dismiss the lawsuit against his client, citing an NBC News exclusive that found inconsistencies with the accuser's story.
You should always advocate for yourself.
It comes after our interview with a 38-year-old mother from Alabama who accuses Sean Diddy Combs and Sean Jay-Z Carter of her when she was 13 years old. She asked us not to reveal her identity.
What made you want to come forward?
Because I think that I've been quiet long enough.
She says that she went to the MTV Video Music Awards in 2000. The woman says she spoke to Combs' limo driver, who offered her a ride to an after party. She says at the party, she spoke to musician Benji Madden and his brother.
I'm talking to Benji Madden about his tattoo. That's the Last Supper.
In a statement to NBC News, a representative for the Maddens confirmed that they did not attend the 2000 VMAs and that they were on tour in the Midwest at that time. At the after party, she says she had a drink that made her feel woozy. Then she says Combs and Carter both her. She says she ran to a gas station where she called her father, who picked her up.
We rode home in silence. He didn't ask me what happened.
In an interview with NBC News, her father said he could not verify the claims. "I feel like I would remember that, and I don't," he said. When we asked the woman about the contradictions in a phone interview on Friday, she said she stands by her statements. "I have made some mistakes," she said, in remembering what happened 24 years ago. "Honestly, what is the clearest is what happened to me." In a statement to NBC News, Sean Carter said, "This incident didn't happen. True justice is coming. We fight from victory, not for victory." A representative for Combs called the suit a shameless money grab.
Is any part of you scared coming out against such powerful people?
I'm scared of what could happen, but I'm more afraid of letting it eat me alive.
Afterward, she had to sign an NDA that kept her from being able to talk about the incident. Now, there's something particularly interesting about this civil lawsuit. Originally, only Diddy was named as a defendant. The other two celebrities, although mentioned, were left unnamed. This new civil lawsuit is a revised version of that, and now includes Jay-Z as the other defendant. The other female celebrity is still unnamed. So the question is, why the alleged victim and her lawyer decided to reveal that Jay-Z was the other person in the room? Do they feel like they have enough evidence to find both guilty? Is this just the first of many lawsuits to come for Jay-Z? And who was the unnamed female celebrity? A lot of people might think it's Beyoncé, but she didn't start dating Jay-Z until 2001 or 2002. Besides, that relationship would have been way too young for him to bring her to something like that. So, who was she? Well, if we really want to go deep into conspiracy theory territory, then we can look at one rumored relationship that Jay-Z had at the time, Aaliyah. There was already a lot of backlash against the relationship at the time since Aaliyah was a lot younger than Jay-Z. Because of that, they kept a lot of things secret. Was her being at the scene of this alleged crime one of those secrets? Because remember, Aaliyah tragically died in a plane crash in 2001. Was she threatening to tell everyone what she saw that night? Perhaps Jay-Z and Diddy knew that they had to silence her. Or it could be a female celebrity that we never would have expected. Either way, the Knowles family seems to be standing their ground and supporting Jay-Z, denying the allegations. As for Jay-Z himself, he had something to say about all this.
He's upset. He's upset that somebody would be allowed to do this. They would make a mockery of the system like this. He's upset that this distracts and dissuades real victims from coming forward. He's upset that his kids and his family have to deal with this. He's upset, and he should be upset.
Will Mr. Carter say anything more specifically about Mr. Combs? He didn't really address him in his statement, but anything since outlets and internet speculation have tried to affiliate the two of them, he didn't really, in his statement, specifically say anything about any of the allegations.
I mean, Mr. Carter has nothing to do with Mr. Combs' case or Mr. Combs. They knew each other professionally for a number of years, just like in all professions. People know each other. At the music awards, they support each other. If you go to the NBA All-Star game, they support each other. That's just how professions work. There is no closer association between any of them. That's also a matter of fiction. That's all that there is. He doesn't know anything about the charges or allegations against him. He has nothing to do with that case.
On Roc Nation's Twitter, Jay-Z shared a letter denying that he had anything to do with what happened to the alleged victim. He called the civil lawsuit an extortion attempt and said that the victim's lawyer had sent it over because he believed that Jay-Z would pay out. He confirmed that he wasn't going to settle because he had nothing to be guilty of. Instead, he said that the victim's lawyer should file a criminal charge instead of a civil one because he believed that a person who could harm a child like that should be arrested. He said that the alleged victim deserved real justice. Jay-Z then tried to rip apart the lawyer's reputation, saying that he had done some research on him and found that he tended to lean into theatrics to make a big payday. He shared that his heart broke for his family because they were going to now be subjected to a lot of pain from the media and from the general populace. He added that he'd have to sit down with Blue Ivy, especially since she was of an age where her friends and colleagues would be talking a lot about the allegations. He'd have to explain to her that there were people in the world who were so greedy and selfish that they came after other people, even when they were innocent. Jay-Z then said that the lawyer had no idea who he was or where he was from. He claimed to protect children while the lawyer exploited them for personal gain. Now, it's worth mentioning that Jay-Z never mentioned Diddy, neither to protect him nor to condemn him. Was this a calculated move to put distance between the two of them? What do you guys think? And does Tina actually know more than she's letting on? Or was she really hacked? Let me know in the comments below.